Thank you very much, Mr. Vice President. We welcome the High Commissioner's report on the situation of human rights in Afghanistan, which includes a stock-taking of accountability options. The report offers a much-needed conclusion that could be a departure point for the next phase of the human rights system engagement with Afghanistan and with the de facto Taliban authorities. The first phase began with the Special Rapporteur's mandate following the military takeover by the Taliban on August 15, 2021. The current mandate was established with an idea of a constructive engagement with the de facto authority and with an optimistic outlook on the basis of the Taliban's Doha negotiation promises, with an overarching goal of paving the way for a full return of Afghanistan to the international system. The Taliban, particularly those holding real power, reneged on their promises and dramatically increased restrictions over the past 3 years, including enacting an institutionalized regime of gender persecution and gender discrimination. With the banning of special rapporteurs from visiting Afghanistan, effectively cutting engagement with the UN human rights system, and sanctioning a draconian so-called virtue and vice law, we believe that this first phase have come to an end. The new phase of engagement has to be different. Since there is no domestic accountability or redressal mechanism, and since the power holders, particularly the Kandahar faction of the Taliban, are closing all windows of principal engagement, this Council should enact what SR previously referred to as all-tools approach. Mr. Vice President, while the report also emphasizes the need for a multi-layer and multi-dimensional approach on accountability, yet it falls short of recommending the establishment of an independent international investigative and accountability mechanism with sufficient financial and technical resources. So therefore, we reiterate that we support the renewal and the strengthening of the Special Rapporteur's crucial mandate. However, the prohibition of his access to the country further underscored the pressing need for a complementary mechanism. We support the report's recommendation from the ongoing investigation of the ICC prosecutor and the national avenues to increase support for victims, families, and civil society. Number two, the report also underlines that the existing mechanism need to be strengthened, including the OSCE capacity to collect, preserve, and analyze evidence of crimes to facilitate future accountability and transitional justice process. However, this was not translated into an actionable recommendation. Mr. Vice President, indeed, gruesome atrocities and severe violation of the IHL and human rights law are being committed in several conflict zones, from Palestine to Ukraine, from Sudan to Myanmar and other places. But have we ever witnessed such a level of institutionalized human rights abuses and violation, an affront to women and men dignity and right as it is undergoing in the history of this Council? The Taliban act with impunity, as if the state of Afghanistan was created after the military takeover on 15th of August 2021. No. Afghanistan joined the UDHR in December 1948, 76 years ago. Notwithstanding the form of its government, it has remained bound by its obligation under international law, including UDHR, UN Charter, and the core international human rights treaties and obligations and optional protocols to which the state was a party and is a party. Over the past 2 decades, Afghanistan have made enormous progresses in promoting and protecting human rights. Mr. Vice President, the people of Afghanistan remain deeply alarmed by the international community's increasing lethargic and at the time counterproductive response to the deteriorating situation. For example, the UN's decision to organize a recent Doha meeting in late June this year, excluding non-Taliban Afghans, including women and civil society, and omitting human rights from the agenda, sets a dangerous precedent. The logic, we were told, was to convince the Taliban to cooperate on implementing UN roadmap, a UN Security Council resolution, including appointment of a special envoy for political coordination, which did not materialize. The Taliban not only failed to engage constructively, but did not hesitate to enact a new virtue and vice law, and further denied women on their voices in public. Every time they lower the bar on human rights and fundamental freedom, the international community lowered their standard and making unprecedented concessions. While paying lip service for the situation of gender apartheid in Afghanistan, some countries are moving toward creeping recognition. Afghanistan's history has shown that this situation will pass, and the freedom-loving people of Afghanistan will prevail as we are committed to upholding our equal human rights and dignity. But I will end with a quote from nobody but Martin Luther King, that once he said, "We will remember not the words of our enemies, but the silence of our friends." Thank you very much.